What happens when people build in the absolute worst places imaginable? Today, we're counting down the world's most poorly placed buildings and structures. You won't believe some of these exist. These aren't just small mistakes, these are billion-dollar blunders and entire communities built on the edge of disaster. From a massive, empty hotel in North Korea to an airport literally sinking into the ocean, we found the most jaw-dropping examples of terrible construction planning. We'll dive into why these places were built, where they were, and what happened next. By the end, you'll question everything you thought you knew about architecture and city planning. Let's get into it. First up, North Korea's Ryugyong Hotel, aka the Hotel of Doom. This 105-story pyramid-shaped skyscraper dominates Pyongyang's skyline, designed to be the world's tallest hotel. The catch? It was built in a country with almost no tourists. Construction began in 1987 with plans for 3,000 rooms, revolving restaurants, and luxury galore. But after the Soviet Union collapsed, funding vanished, and in 1992, work stopped. For over a decade, the hotel stood as a massive, empty concrete shell so embarrassing, the government airbrushed it out of official photos. Imagine a city's biggest building being a monument to failure. In 2008, an Egyptian company finished the exterior, covering it in glass and adding LED lights for propaganda displays. But inside, still empty. No guests, no staff, no purpose. The Ryugyong Hotel is a $750 million ghost built for prestige in a place almost no one can visit. It's the world's tallest unoccupied building, a gleaming shell with no function. All that money, in a country facing food shortages, poured into a project that never served its purpose. The Ryugyong is the ultimate example of building for image, not reality. It stands as a silent warning. Ambition without practicality leads nowhere. 30 years later, it's still empty, still lit up, and still a symbol of miscalculation. The lesson? Don't build a luxury hotel where no one can stay. It's a glassy ghost, a monument to ignoring reality. Sometimes the worst place to build is the place no one can use. The Ryugyong Hotel, a billion-dollar mistake that never checked in a single guest. It's a building that probably never should have existed. Prestige projects can become the world's most expensive failures. The Ryugyong is proof. Location matters more than ambition. In Pyongyang, it's a daily reminder of what happens when dreams ignore reality. The world's emptiest hotel, in the world's most closed-off country. That's what happens when you build in the wrong place. On to the next disaster. Next, Taiwan's Sanji UFO houses a seaside resort that looked like a sci-fi movie set. Colorful, pod-shaped homes were meant to attract wealthy vacationers. But the land was rumored to be cursed, an ancient burial ground, ignored by developers. Construction began in the late 1970s, but accidents and financial disasters struck immediately. Fatal falls, strange car crashes, and constant rumors of hauntings scared off workers and investors. The project was abandoned in 1980, leaving behind a ghost town of decaying UFO pods. For nearly 30 years, the site became a magnet for urban explorers and photographers. The location was both physically unstable and culturally rejected. No one wanted to live in a place with such a dark reputation. The government hesitated to demolish the pods, fearing the curse, but finally cleared the site in 2008. The Sanji UFO houses are now just a memory, a futuristic dream turned creepy relic. It's a lesson in ignoring local warnings and building on unstable ground. Sometimes the worst place to build is where nobody wants you to. The Sanji site is gone, but its story is a powerful warning. Don't build where the land and the people say no. The UFO ghost town, a failed vision, lost to superstition and bad planning. Let's move on to the next disaster. Now, Japan's Kansai International Airport, an engineering marvel built on an artificial island in Osaka Bay. With no space on the mainland, engineers created an island from scratch, knowing it would sink. They predicted 18 feet of settling over 50 years, but it sank 27 feet before opening. The seabed compressed faster than expected, and the airport kept sinking. To make things worse, it's in a typhoon and earthquake zone. In 2018, Typhoon Jebi flooded runways and stranded thousands when a tanker smashed the only bridge to the mainland. Billions have been spent reinforcing the island, but it's still sinking. Over 38 feet so far. Kansai is a symbol of human ambition and a warning about fighting nature. Building an airport on unstable, artificial land in a disaster-prone area is a risky bet. The airport is still in use, but the battle against the ocean never ends. Kansai is both a marvel and a cautionary tale. Sometimes the most impressive projects are also the most precarious. Nature always has the final say. Kansai Airport, a billion-dollar experiment in defying the elements. It's a lesson in humility for even the best engineers. Build wisely or risk sinking literally. Next, a world-famous mistake. Let's go to Pisa, Italy. The Leaning Tower, the world's most famous architectural blunder. Built in 1173 on soft, marshy ground, the tower began to tilt after just 2 floors. The foundation was only 10 feet deep, nowhere near enough for an 18,000-ton marble tower. Construction stopped for nearly a century, but when it resumed, the lean was worse. Engineers tried to compensate by building higher on one side, giving the tower its iconic curve. For centuries, the lean got worse, threatening collapse. By the 20th century, it was so unstable that experts feared it would fall. In 1990, the tower closed for emergency stabilization. Engineers removed soil from beneath the higher side, reducing the tilt by 18 inches. They didn't straighten it completely. The lean is what makes it famous. The Leaning Tower is a global icon born from a terrible location. It's a reminder, check your ground before you build. Sometimes, a mistake becomes a legend. But it's still a mistake. The tower stands today, secure for now but only after centuries of effort and millions spent. Pisa's pride is also its greatest error, the world's most beloved architectural fail, a beautiful, expensive lesson in bad planning, onto a disaster with even higher stakes. Now the Chernobyl nuclear power plant site of the worst nuclear disaster in history. Built in the 1970s, the plant was placed just 2 miles from the city of Pripyat, home to 50,000 people. Pripyat was a model city, but its proximity to the reactors was a fatal flaw. In most countries, nuclear plants have large exclusion zones. Here, convenience trumped safety. On April 26, 1986, Reactor 4 exploded, releasing radioactive material equivalent to 400 Hiroshima bombs. For 36 hours, residents went about their lives, unaware of the invisible danger. When evacuation finally came, they were told it was temporary. They never returned. Pripyat became a ghost city overnight, frozen in time. The disaster contaminated vast regions and caused devastating health effects for decades. Today, Pripyat is a haunting monument to catastrophic planning. Building a city next to a nuclear plant turned an accident into a tragedy. The Chernobyl exclusion zone is a chilling reminder, some risks are too great. The cost? Thousands of lives and a region uninhabitable for centuries. Chernobyl is the ultimate example of a location choice with fatal consequences. Sometimes the wrong place to build can destroy everything. Next, a disaster closer to home. Now, New Orleans' Lower Ninth Ward, a community built below sea level, in a city shaped like a bowl. Protected only by levees and flood walls, the neighborhood was a disaster waiting to happen. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck. The levees failed, and a wall of water obliterated the Lower Ninth Ward. Homes were swept away, residents trapped, and the neighborhood was scoured from the map. The aftermath was apocalyptic, weeks underwater, toxic debris everywhere. The decision to build in such a vulnerable spot with flawed infrastructure led to unimaginable tragedy. The Lower Ninth Ward suffered more deaths and destruction than any other part of the city. Years later, recovery is slow. Many never returned, empty lots and ruins remain. New, elevated homes have been built, but the fundamental problem persists. It's still a bowl, still below sea level, still at risk. The disaster exposed deep issues in urban planning and social equity. Building in the wrong place can destroy not just buildings, but entire communities. The Lower Ninth Ward is a heartbreaking lesson in ignoring geography. Sometimes the cost of a bad location is measured in lives. Katrina's legacy is a warning for cities everywhere. Don't build where nature is waiting to reclaim the land. The scars of the Lower Ninth Ward are a permanent reminder. Vulnerability and poor planning can be a deadly mix. Next, the most dangerous home of all. Finally, Aogashima, a tiny Japanese island where people live inside an active volcanic crater. The island is the exposed peak of a massive underwater volcano, with a smaller cone inside the main caldera. About 170 residents live here, surrounded by breathtaking beauty and constant danger. In the 18th century, eruptions killed half the population and forced evacuation for 50 years. Yet people returned, drawn by fertile soil and a close-knit community. There's no airport, just a small harbor and a helipad, total isolation. The volcano is still active, monitored constantly for signs of eruption. Residents use geothermal heat for saunas and cooking, integrating the volcano into daily life. Living here is a conscious choice, a gamble with nature for the sake of home. The cliffs of the caldera are a daily reminder of the island's violent past. At any moment, evacuation could be necessary. Ogashima is a place of beauty, risk, and resilience. It's not a mistake. It's a bold decision to live on the edge. The island is a testament to human adaptability and the power of community. Here, the danger is ever present, but so is the sense of belonging. Aogashima, the world's most astonishingly placed community. Sometimes the worst place to build is exactly where people choose to call home. That's a wrap. From sinking airports to ghost towns and volcano villages, the world is full of mind-blowing building disasters. Which location shocked you most? For me, it's Aogashima. Living inside a volcano is wild. Let us know your pick in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable stories. We're always searching for the next insane location to share. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.